Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome back to my series where I'm taking a look back at Kickstarter projects that I have backed here on behalf of the Dice Tower for various reasons, and I'm giving you my various thoughts on them. Now, a couple things. I recorded this a couple months ahead of you seeing this, so there might be some changes since then, not many probably. And yeah, the opinions and everything I say herein are my own. So let's get started by taking a look at 15 projects that I backed a couple years ago and see where they are now. So first of all, we have It's a Wonderful World. Man, this one delivered in spades, and I gotta say, Lucky Duck, and this one here, I believe actually Lucky Duck did not kickstart this. No, it was La Boue de Joux. Lucky Duck then picked it up and ran with it. This is a great little game. Very similar in many ways to Race for the Galaxy, playing different cards, getting the resources, changing cubes and other cubes. There's a whole, when I backed this, I guess I did the whole little, I can see I backed here, the War and Peace Heritage Campaign, the Leisure and Decline Heritage Campaign. I don't think any of that stuff's actually necessary, although I believe they kickstarted it again and added more stuff, and then they just recently kickstarted an expansion. It's a Wonderful Kingdom. But this one here, I really like how it plays. I like the dystopian future that it shows. It's a little more positive than most of them. But at the end of the day, it is just a game where you're playing cards and getting just random resources. Or you're getting resources from these cards, and then those resources are used to build more cards. It's a pretty quick game. Plays very well. This one's a winner, and it's still being talked about today. This is one of those ones that I think will be around for a while. Dice Upon a Time. So this game here, which the company who did this is Corona Games. This one is a game that I wanted to like more than I ended up liking. It's kind of a fairy tale game. You're moving miniatures around. You're running into various people from the fairy tales and rolling dice to see what happens, collecting stuff. It's a little more lucky than I would prefer. Well, a lot more lucky than I would prefer. That being said, even though it does have that bit of luck into it and finding getting the cards and the resources you need are over here, it's not that terrible. This whole unique dice tower building movement mechanism is okay. You're placing these dice to move around the board and stuff. But the randomness, which is not the dice, the randomness is the resources and the cards that you need for them. Yeah, this is, I think, a forgettable one. I haven't played it since we've reviewed it. But, hey, it's a project that fulfilled, and they did a good job on it. IkOn, or IkOn, this one here is from Tabula Games, and their stuff always has this really weird, unique, kind of a dark sci-fi / fantasy theme to it. So they look like big miniature games, but they're not. They're more of a Euro style game with these miniatures. And here you're moving around. This has a bit of area control. Look at these creepy robots and everything. The miniatures in this game are great. And this is kind of in that very mix, that very unique mix of having this very strong Ameritrash theme and very strong Euro game mechanisms. There's a little bit of, you know, not a little bit, there's a decent amount of interaction because you're trying to be the first to get stuff and control different areas on the board. But they did a good job. They made it so that there was I never did play the crossover here. It said this Myth Theater Falls, a standalone cooperative game. That's the first one, was cooperative. This one is not cooperative, IkOn. That you can play by just combining the components. Oh, I'm sorry. Myth the Fall is the game that if you combine the two, you can play. I've never done that. It's hard to get me to want to combine games together anyway, but I did get an envelope full of some cards and other things that let you combine them together. Oh, look at that mess. It just combined everything. The Conflux game. But I like that they did that, and both Myths Thea and IkOn are very strong games. And so Tabula is always a company that I like keeping an eye on. Alter Quest here. This is from Blacklist Games. And so this game is, for lack of better terms here, from the Sadler Brothers, a love letter to Hero Quest. Now, in that board, wow, that board looks like Hero Quest. Now, don't get me wrong, this game has much more going on than Hero Quest. And parts of it are going to throw people off. This is a very different dungeon crawl than most games. It's very procedural. You have a bunch of cards underneath the board each turn that are there from monsters and your heroes and the elements and then things you find on the board, and you go through these cards in order, and there's just a lot of things going on. There's some dice in the game, but the dice are more to get elements and things that you can use with your cards. Some really cool ideas, but the game itself is a little, I don't know how else to explain it. It's a little more abstract than you might think. A few of the ideas and the movement, there's a pullback on them. And so I like this game. I know some people who love this game, but I suspect that for a lot of people, it's going to feel a little too off the beaten path for them to enjoy it too much. The Sadler brothers tended to overcomplicate their games a little more than I think they need it to be, and this one is no exception, although this one's a little more straightforward. It does have a nice plug and play element. It's like, I will use these monsters, these bigger monsters, these, I'm going to play with these rooms that might show up through the thing. Has some great components. I put it in Dice Tower Library. So this one, I think a lot of people, some people are going to love it, some people are not, but either way, they did a good job on the production. Alter Quest. Here we have Too Many Bones, Splice and Dice, and a reprint of the series. I got to be honest, I never played this. I played Too Many Bones. I think Too Many Bones is a very, very good game. There's a lot of great stuff going on in it. Mike loves it even more than I do. This is just some more characters and more stuff for the game. This is a very involved, tactical, dungeon crawl style game. That's very different. Each character in this game is completely different. They all have their own set of dice, and this just adds a whole bunch of extra stuff into the game. And I apparently got all of that stuff, including the Trove Chest, which I think I gave it to Mike or something because I'm just not interested in it. It fit like beautifully into a calyx and everything, but that's not what I'm looking for the Dice Tower Library. But I get, if you love Too Many Bones, that makes sense. Dungeon Drop. Now, Dungeon Drop is a cute little game that I gotta say I really enjoyed. In this game, you're literally just dropping a bunch of cubes here on the table. And you're doing things, you're using your heroes, and it's almost like you're trying to drop stuff, but then get within range of gold and not within range of monsters. It's a very simple little game. I really enjoy it. I just got some expansions and stuff for this game that I've not played with, but I liked the cubes here. See the little deluxe goblins and trolls and the dragon with the face on the cubes. I like that. I wouldn't want to play with this all the time, but I liked how there's all these little heroes, each with their special abilities. I love that the gelatinous cube looks like a little clear cube, and the treasure chest and keys. I'm very anxious. I've not played this with my kids. I'm going to be playing the expansion with them. I'm curious what they're going to do. What they're going to think. But this idea of you're picking 3 black cubes here, and it shows this in the thing. You make a room, and then you get the stuff in that room. Of course, the problem is everything in that room, there might be bad stuff in that room too, besides the good stuff. It's a little fiddly. I mean, the slightest bit fiddly, because you can see that some people might argue about what constitutes a room or not. But for the most part, I think this one is a pretty unique, fun game. Ah, brother. All right, Batman Gotham City Chronicles Season 2. Fool me once, shame on me. I have no idea why I backed this. I really don't. Batman Gotham City Chronicles I backed because I liked the Conan system from Conan the Barbarian, and I liked Batman, and I thought the combo would be amazing. And yeah, it's really cool. You get a ton of miniatures. It has straight up the worst rulebook of almost any game. And there is no excuse for that, because Conan was loudly hailed as a terrible rulebook. They had a chance to fix it. They didn't. And then here, Season 2, they had a chance to rewrite the rulebook. They didn't. I do notice here, and I'm recording this way before you're seeing this online, that in April 26 here, they announced they're going to be doing Season 3. Hey, you didn't fool me. Now, they are saying that Paul Grogan, who's good at writing rules, is rewriting the entire rule book, and they're reprinting everything, but come on. I already got rid of the game. It doesnent matter. I already got rid of it because I couldn't figure out how to play it, and I didn't want to put in tons and tons of effort. We even played it live here on the Dice Tower. We played it wrong. Back when I went through the prototype rule book they sent me, and I just assumed that it would get better when it came out, and it didn't. So, I mean, they fooled me. I've had a Conan bad rulebook. I've had a Batman Season 1 bad rulebook. They didn't fix it in Season 2. Now they're saying it's fixed in Season 3. We're talking years later. Of course, for all I know, the third one came out and made $1 billion. All right. Now this I'm happy about. Iron Clays and Spades. So this is from Roxley Games, and this was directly because of Brass Birmingham. So Brass Birmingham and Brass Nottingham, people like these chips that they made for the game. So they decided to make these chips available for people to buy to use in other games, like let's say 18xx games. You better bet I got these. I believe I got 2 sets of these. They're fantastic. We put them in a Dice Tower library. I don't care about the cards. But these chips are really nice. They're super good quality. They do not look like casino chips. They just look like money chips that are, well, they have weighted poker. They are fantastic, except they're heavy. And I don't particularly like the case they come in because it's not an easy case to carry. I'm still a big fan of those little gray cases with all the poker chips that they sell for 20 bucks at big box stores. I like those cases, but I like these chips. The Iron Clays get a very strong recommendation from me. Halia Warring States. So this was a nice one to get. I believe this one, it says that it was supposed to deliver in February 2020. I believe it came a month or 2 after that. And I enjoyed it a lot. It came at the beginning of the pandemic, and this works well. The 2-player game, I think, best. 3-player is not bad, but it's just a charming little game in which you're buying buildings and attacking each other with little troops. And you can decide whether you're going to go for attacking or for building or maybe a combination of both. It's simple. They made a big box version of this recently that they kickstarted, which is fine, but I really like this little version of the game. This one is worth getting. I actually put it in Dice Tower Library. All right, Thunderstone Quest, New Horizons. This is more Thunderstone stuff. I gotta be honest, I've lost track of what's what at any given point in time. This is just more stuff. This has Quest 8, Vengeful Sands, Quest 9, Clockwork Destiny, Prestige classes, and things like that. Great. I stuck all this in my Warhammer game, and for the life of me, if you ask me what's from what expansion, I wouldn't know. But I do like Thunderstone Quest a lot. Endeavor. So this gorgeous game here from Burnt Island Games was a reprint of the original Endeavor, which is not particularly gorgeous, and they did a great job at redoing it. I played the original Endeavor. I liked it. I did not play the new one, actually. I believe Z took this one and played it and also really enjoyed it. They did a great job at this production. Burnt Island Games is on fire. This Endeavor Age of Sail, that box, the whole thing just looks great. This, again, puts to rest these people who think that Euro games have to look like trash. They don't. This one is proof of that, and they did a really good job at it. All right, last Aurora. This one makes me sad a little bit because I really like this game, and I backed it, and I didn't back all these cool upgraded plastic pieces. I want these plastic pieces, but it's too late. The Kickstarter's over. But I think this game is really cool. You're moving along. This is one that we played at Catch-A-Palooza, where Z taught this to us as you drive your convoy trying to get to the last ship that's going off and gathering stuff. There's a lot of things I really enjoy about it. The artwork, I think the theme is neat. Yeah, it's really neat. I just wish I had these nice, neat components. But, you never know. And then finally, Eternal Adversary. This is from Peterson Games. People tend to like these ones. I mean, Peterson Games has not yet made a game that's as popular as Cthulhu Wars. This one did, what, 150,000, which is pretty good, right? Cthulhu Wars is millions. This one looks okay. There's a final battle, it looks like, between good and evil. It's not out yet. In fact, I think, I'm looking here at the last update, April 22nd, they're like, hey, we're almost done with the project before this. This one's closer in the queue. Oh, okay. When was this one supposed to be arriving at my door? January 2021. Well, this one's slightly late here, folks. So I don't know what to say about this one because I don't have it. So maybe I'll get it someday. It does kind of look like all their games tend to look the same, unfortunately. I wish they could make some of these games that will have a stronger look to other things. Maybe this one's good. We'll find out if it ever gets here. So which of these do I think is the best? I'm going to go with the Iron Clays. As silly as that is, I was very, very happy with this Kickstarter. What's your favorite of these? Let me know. Maybe you have a very different opinion. One I liked, you don't like. One I didn't like, you think is fantastic. Maybe you're finally playing the ones that I didn't get yet. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Until next time, though, this has been a Kickstarter look back here on the Dice Tower. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. I'm Tom Vasel.